John Black, Superchemist, here to test iron 2 cations and iron 3 cations.
This is just a disclaimer to let you know that this video is not intended to be imitated. No parts of it should not be copied or done by you or anybody. It's just for educational and maybe entertainment purposes to watch. That's it. I don't condone anyone repeating anything in the video.
Now, when I made my iron 2 sulfate in my last video, this is how I went up and got the metal. I saw a bunch of bags that are, none of them are labeled. That's how they sent them to me. There's no labeling on anything. So I put a magnet on one of the bags and I took that as iron. So we're going to do some better tests to make sure that we did make iron 2 sulfate and that the brown precip, that stuff that keeps contaminating everything, let's make sure that's iron 3 sulfate. Okay, I got dilute sodium hydroxide in these test tubes, and I'm going to add some iron 2 sulfate that I made last year and that I made this year. Okay, now they'll form hydroxides, and they're insoluble in dilute sodium hydroxide, but they're also insoluble in concentrated sodium hydroxide. So let's see that, make sure that this is what it is. Should be a greenish blue precip. Now always remember, shake these up. Don't just put them in there. And you can see that those are pretty much the same exact color, same exact blue-green crap. Insoluble. So I'm going to put some more. This time I'm going to put concentrated sodium hydroxide. Shake it up. You can see they're still not soluble. They're still insoluble. The next test is using ammonium hydroxide. Now this is going to do the same exact thing. It's going to make a hydroxide. It's insoluble in both this dilute stuff, and I'm also going to use concentrated stuff. You can see it's the same blue color. Same green blue color. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add excess shake it up. You can see it's still insoluble. I have to wait a while for it to settle. You can see on this side it's starting to settle at the bottom. Probably can't see it on film, but it is settling in both of them. Oh, here, let me spin it around. See it more. Not on camera though. But trust me, it's greenish blue, and it's insoluble in both concentrated and dilute. By dilute, I mean 10% by weight. These are the ones that I did in the sodium hydroxide. You can see they're settling down more. See, they're both that same color, that bluish green. If you read books, the books will say it's a dirty green. I say it's a blue-green. Now I see why they say iron 2 is a reducer, because it goes to iron 3 so easily. You know what I mean? It's so easily oxidized that it will reduce anything, I guess. But one of the ways you can test to see if you do have iron 2 is when you get done with your iron 2, when you get done putting your iron 2 sulfate into the sodium hydroxide and you make your iron 2 hydroxide, you can filter that out, and if the air itself oxidizes it brown to the iron 3, then that's another indication that it might be iron 2 that you started out with. Okay, and I'm going to show you that right now. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but it used to be green, and on the right you can see it's brown now. But it all was one color at one time. And that's the hydroxide. So this is actually a test for nitrate also. I have some iron 2 sulfate in there. It's green. And I have some potassium nitrate. And I'm going to dip some drip of concentrated sulfuric acid down the thing, and it should form a brown ring at the top. You can barely see it, but it is there. Put another drop. Yeah, there it is. This is actually sulfuric acid that I distilled, but this was left in the pot, the garbage stuff. But it's got to be concentrated. Holy crap! Okay, don't do that. Iron 3. Let's do the iron 3 now. Alright, there's the iron 3 in water. Now most of that, or some of it, is iron 2, so I'm going to have to oxidize it with some hydrogen peroxide, and it'll turn it all to Fe3. See how I got more brown? That's how you know it's all Fe3. Sodium hydroxide here, it's just dilute. I'll put some of this Fe3 in it. And you can see there's a precip in there. I'm going to shake it up. It's brown. It looks like a red brown, more like a rusty brown, maybe orange brown. Now if I put excess in there, it should still be insoluble. Shake it up. And you can see it's still insoluble. So let's do the last test here. Now this is dilute ammonium hydroxide. Throw some Fe3 in there. Shake it. Well, you can see it's insoluble. Shake it up to make sure it's still insoluble. So we're going to throw some more concentrated ammonium hydroxide. Shake it up. And you can see it's still insoluble. I know you can't really tell that good on camera. Oh, look at the top. See how it's clearing up the top, and the stuff is starting to settle. So far we know that these are iron 3 and iron 2 chlorides. Sulfates. So you see, here's the iron 2 ones. See the one side starting to settle out, the precip. You know, I'm not letting these sit long enough. You should let them sit so that they look like this. Always remember, science is great.